Hi guys, we're Group 7.
We are here to present our research paper about
Intercultural Communication, Breaking
Barriers and promoting cultural diversity. Let's go!
Loving is easy.
Now we are going to tackle about the introduction part of our research paper. So first, let us define what is the meaning of intercultural. Intercultural is something that occurs between people of different cultures, including different religious groups or people of different national origins. While intercultural communication is a discipline that studies communication across different cultures and social groups, or how culture affects communication. It deals with the interaction of individuals among cultural diversity. While with regards to intercultural communication proper, it studies situations where people from different cultural backgrounds interact. It offers the ability to deal across cultures, which is increasingly important as our world is getting smaller. So in this paper, we have gathered data through interview questionnaires that requires people who experience living in abroad as participants. So the whole research paper includes the experiences of the participants regarding intercultural communication, their perspectives on how language and culture affects communication with other nationalities, and because barriers cannot be avoided when it comes to communication, they also give some knowledge and advice on how to improve intercultural communication. Also, because intercultural cannot be avoided and you can experience it wherever you go, the study explores or highlights the experiences and engagement of an individual related to intercultural communication. Included here are the languages they use, their experiences of intercultural communication, and what are the similarities and differences of their own culture to the culture they were exposed to. So here are the list of places where our participants came from, or the places where they experienced intercultural communication.
We were able to gather 20 individuals who willingly participated in our study. They either lived or is still living in abroad for various reasons, such as job opportunities, educational attainment, or for migration. So we listed down the countries, the places they've mentioned where they experience intercultural communication. Why is a place or a country a big factor for intercultural communication? As we have said, intercultural communication is about two different cultures interacting with each other. The countries are located in various continents across the world. We have Asia, Europe, South America, and Australia. In this alone, we know that there are cultural differences amongst them. How is this culture affecting a person in how they communicate with others? An individual acquires their culture from being exposed to a community. Whatever practices or beliefs is present, they are learned over a period of time. So the upbringing of a person is actually a reflection of the first culture they were exposed to. Once a person moves to another place, another area, it will be hard for him to adapt their culture and behavior easily. So in the first days, months that you are in that place, the culture you are performing is the culture you were exposed to. This actually causes a mishap between individuals when they are interacting with each other. Example that there are culture differences, language barrier that affects you in interacting, and it's often hard to relate to a person of different cultural background since you have a different mindset. Your ideals are contradicting each other, and your interpretations of an action of a certain circumstance is different, and these differences causes you to be misunderstood. It is impossible not to encounter problems when you are interacting with a person of different cultural backgrounds, and the biggest problem you'll ever encounter is the language barrier. Culture is well diverse between countries, and the most unique culture of a country is their own language or their mother tongue.
I will report about dominant language. Every country has its own mother tongue, and it was evident that numerous languages will be accumulated in this interview. In the study, it also shows how English language is a universal language, and it is listed also as the second most used language in their country, and along with this language is Chinese Mandarin. As you can see, 9 dominant languages were gathered out of 20 participants. First is English language, which is 29%. Second is Arabic language, which is 19%. And third is Filipino Tagalog language, which is 14%. Next one is both 9%, which is Japanese and Korean language. And lastly, the 5% is Icelandic language, Norse language, Malay language, German language.
Now, on our last topic, we are here to give you some tips on how to overcome few difficulties that you may experience living and working in abroad. Now, we have listed here a few difficulties you may experience living and working in abroad. First, language barrier, which is the most common of them all. Second, cultural differences very differs from what you are accustomed to. Third, judgment and criticisms which are inevitable. Fourth, beliefs such as religion. And lastly, adapting to the environment itself. Now, you may wonder, are these the only difficulties you may experience living and working abroad? Well, no. These are just some examples that most of the people living and working abroad experience on their first years. Now, to overcome this, we have some tips and tricks for you. First, to overcome the language barrier, you must learn how to speak English. Speaking English or English itself is known as the universal language, meaning more of the population of the country would probably understand you if you speak English. If you're a fluent English speaker, be careful of your jargons. Also, simplify your sentences and do not make things more complicated for them. Not all of the citizens of the country will understand you, especially if they don't have English as their second language. The second tip, you have to learn the dominant language of the country. But staying abroad for a long period of time, it will eventually help you through a long run. Learning the dominant language does not only help you understand them more, but it also causes less misunderstandings for you. Our third tip for you is to always act and talk with respect. Living and working in a foreign country, you must always learn how to understand and be patient with them. Your culture and their culture may differ, and you have to adjust to this. For kids and teenagers at school who may experience bullying or have a hard time adapting to the environment, have our fourth tip for you. Listen to the native speakers. Now, this tip may be helpful for you. If you're trying to learn the dominant language of the country, listening to the native speakers may help you understand more of the language. It will also help you in communicating more with people, and it can be a conversational starter. Now, the last tip from us is for you to know and embrace the culture. Knowing and embracing the culture will not only help you in a long run, but it will also make you enjoy living and staying in the foreign country. Now, why do you have to know and embrace the culture of a different country? Knowing and embracing the culture of the country as if it's your own doesn't only help you in terms of understanding the language, the culture, and the customs, but it will also helps you adapt more easily to the environment. Being able to adapt to the culture easily will make your stay and your work enjoyable in the abroad. Now, with those tips, surely it does not cover all, but we hope that you somehow get an idea how to overcome this. Remember, intercultural communication happens anywhere and everywhere you go. That's all for today. Bye!
Glad to be alone until love came.